Landlords have responsibilities, of course they have, but also have government. And government have a responsibility to update this archaic law which we've had for the last 50 years, where landlords don't get any money at all whatsoever. We cannot spend money on our properties except when we get them back. And as you can see from this patio, landlords do spend money. I've managed to get these flats back. We're spending a lot of money doing them up.
You say you've got them back, what do you mean?
Luckily, due to the last review program we had, which had been in court, waiting in court for almost 2 years to get that one back, we found out that they had got government accommodation. So eventually, through the long process, which took me over 2 years and over £15,000 in legal fees, we managed to get that one back. This one we managed to get back as well from the last program. You can remember that there was a problem due to illegal works from the flat upstairs, and the person that used to live here, the conditions were atrocious. Now, unfortunately, he got sick and has been moved to Mantelvenia, so I got this one back. The top one there, which is the large 2-bedroom, which we are again refurbishing. Again, through the last viewpoint program, the tenant went to get legal advice. They told him he didn't have a leg to stand on, basically, because he'd bought into the government 50-50 scheme, so he had to give it back. I've also got another 2 back from which government have allocated housing to, but in order to get them out, I've had to pay them £5,000 each, which amounts to...
They were allocated housing?
Yes, but what they do, in this case, they threaten to put family members in, and in the law in Gibraltar, we have to get eviction orders. It takes 2 years to get to court. You never know whether you're going to win the case or not, and it's going to cost you £10,000-15,000 anyway. So I just paid them and got the flats back, and now I can start working on them. In the same way as the Housing Act dictates that we have certain roles, this, which is from the Housing Act, is section 55.4. This tells what the responsibilities of the tenant are. Now, if the tenant goes inside and does some illegal works like they did upstairs, and because of the shoddiness of the work, damages the rest of the properties, then why is it the landlord's responsibility when it clearly states that the cisterns, the water fittings, the hand basins, the taps, the drains, the meters, the electrical fittings, all that is the responsibility of the tenant. Now, if the tenant decides in 40 years not to give a lick of paint to the house, how can it be the landlord's problem? It has to be the tenant's. And you cannot expect a landlord to spend whatever money is involved in refurbishing a house when he's only getting £14-15 a week.
This will cost you thousands of pounds to renovate, no?
This will cost, these 3 houses will cost in excess of £150,000 to renovate. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. That one is quite big, and it's quite a big project. We have a responsibility, but so has government, and so have the tenants. And government has more responsibility than anybody. There are people living in this patio in conditions which are unbearable, including Mr Bugarna there. Now, if the minister's going to visit, he should take a visit everywhere. I'm open to take him wherever he wants, and I'll show him exactly what happens in Gibraltar. And I'm happy, as a landlord and as a representative of the Landlords Association, to sit down with him in another viewpoint program, wherever we discuss things, not in such a simplistic way, but we attack it from the source, because the root of the problems are not the landlords. The landlords are the solutions to a lot of the problems, but are not the problem. The problem is that government has been turning a blind eye on this law, which is over 50 years old, and they don't want to do anything about it because it costs votes and it will cost them money. But it is not our responsibility. It's government's responsibility. I'm totally in agreement with Action for Housing when they say that they are not doing enough for the normal working class people of Gibraltar. They are not doing enough. It's all fine bringing people from outside in investment of millions and millions and millions. But yes, that's for the foreign investor. That's why rents keep on rocketing up. More money from outside, rents go up locally. But yet, no more government stock. So don't blame the landlords. Look at yourselves first.